Happy Sunday. I hope everyone's having a good one. This is going to be the first video that I put on my YouTube channel. I've had a YouTube channel that I don't really use except to subscribe to other YouTubers. And I think I posted the name of my channel. I had changed it from what it was to Parkland WA Fiction Writer. I didn't know how long of a username that you could have, so I didn't just completely spell out Washington. The reason that I'm wanting to go to YouTube and stop sharing my videos to Facebook is I'm really not getting feedback. I've done multiple of these videos where I've asked a question and nobody answers the question. In fact, doesn't comment on it at all. And part of what I want is to be able to write to an audience that would like to read what I have to say. But more importantly, my stories are, I call them speculative fiction because there's supernatural elements to them, but this is the real hard, cold world I'm talking about. Not going to even look through this world that I'm building with any kind of rose-colored glasses. I am hardcore, putting it all out there, all the social issues, all the political issues. It's out there. And my main concern is if I write a plot point, is it believable? I just want to make sure other people would believe it. Now, I know for a fact anything that I write, other than like the supernatural stuff like telekinetic kid or time travel, could actually happen because something similar happens all the time. Like I said before, we live in an extremely violent, misogynistic society. So, what I write about, why somebody got beat up, or how somebody died, or why somebody wanted to do a mass shooting, is based in reality because something similar to it has happened before. However, I still do want feedback from the readers or potential readers that say, okay, that seems a little far-fetched. Maybe you could think about changing it a little bit. And I always take constructive criticism really well. I mean, that's what I'm looking for is constructive criticism. Not just flat out, oh, it's great, and no other feedback. And also not alternatively, oh, it's a bunch of utter rubbish, and not tell me why it's utter rubbish. In fact, like the book, The Prima Genial, that I just published just this month, is a very, very left-leaning book, and I am not tiptoeing around politics at all and what's going on in this world. So if people don't like to think about politics and social issues, then this book is not for them at all. So I've pretty much finished Thrice, A Peculiar Love Story. I'm not planning on publishing it until January, February, just to space out my books. But also I need to figure out how to get some song lyrics in my book, how I want to write my own lyrics. I really don't want to have to ask AI to write the lyrics. Basically, the song I'm writing is about what my original plot of Thrice was about, where the two main characters, Harlow and Sebastian, who actually are together in the original version, are only together for 3 years before the guy, Sebastian, dies the first time. And the second time they're together, they're only together 3 years before he dies again. He dies for completely different reasons. What happens is that the first time they're together, Sebastian dies by violence and then comes to Harlow in a dream and tells her, you have to find me again. We're going to be reborn again. You have to find me again. To which she then herself dies of like broken heart syndrome or stroke or something. When then her life starts over and she's going along just the way her life had originally started going along. And when she's 12 years old, the night of her 12th birthday, previous life that she lived downloads into her brain. So then she all of a sudden is a normal 12-year-old who's all of a sudden a 50-year-old and 12-year-old's body, which I've said before and I've talked about this before. That would fucking suck. If I were to start over and get brain download and be a certain age, I wouldn't even be close to 12, not even my 20s. The youngest I'd ever want to be again is probably 35. Anyway, so then when she gets the brain download of her previous turn on the planet, I guess I should say, then her course deviates. She said, okay, we're going to try things different this time. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to stay with my parents that, they don't like me. They don't care about me. I'm going to go stay with my aunt. But then she gets an idea to go to a white witch to find out how to communicate with somebody else mentally. So she's physically 12, chronologically 12. Sebastian in the original version is a little bit younger than he is in the current version. And so he's 20. And he's about to marry Gemma, who he married the first time. They're going to get married on stage. She's like an accompanying artist, and they fell in love and blah blah blah. She's a little bit older than he is. But Harlow communicates with Sebastian, wait on me until I'm grown. We're supposed to be together. So then he calls off the wedding, and you think that Harlow would have, the day she turned 18, went to find the guy, except she waits till she's 25 years old, and the reason she did that was because her aunt Adelinda, who seemed really liberal and like crunchy and granola and all of that, is trying to control Harlow. So first time in her life, her parents controlled her. Now she's not in much of a better position. Adelinda is just trying to control her in a different manner. Oh, you need to be your own woman. You need to have your own passions, blah, 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 before you go find a man. So at this point, the second time around, Sebastian has deviated off the course that he would have taken. Winds up on a movie set where there's a radioactive prop that nobody knew was radioactive, and he wore on his person. And he winds up getting this severe cancer all of a sudden. He dies from that. So the first time he dies, it's because Harlow just poking at Sebastian's crazy ex-girlfriend. Crazy ex-girlfriend comes to kill Harlow. Sebastian jumps in front of her, takes the knife, he dies. I wouldn't say that that's Harlow's fault, but she certainly contributed to that death. She should have just left the ex alone. Don't poke her one last time. Just leave her alone. I know she's crazy. She stalks us. We got TROs to keep her away. You don't have to approach her when you see her in public. But Harlow, I wouldn't say is confrontational the first time around, and she just doesn't know when to leave it alone, is basically what it is. And the second time that Sebastian dies, it's also partially her fault, because had she not interfered with that marriage that was going to happen, he wouldn't have deviated off to the radioactive set. So then, while he's dying in the hospital of the cancer, he's telling her the only way it's going to work is next time I will come and find you. You don't come and find me. So when he's 16 and the third time around, has gotten into this car accident, lost his arm. He jumped in the neighbor's Mustang, went down the street and crashed. When he's 16, he gets the brain downloads of the previous 2 lives they had together. And up until then, he'd been like this little entitled potentate, little king. He wasn't a mean person, but he got whatever he demanded from his acting agents and whatever else. And then he decides, when he gets the brain downloads, he's going to become a better man. And he apologizes to everybody he wronged and, XYZ. Except, in retrospect, this might seem kind of creepy. He literally waits until the day that Harlow turns 18 in her third chance in life, when he's 26 years old, and goes and seeks her out at this place where she practices playing piano. He knows the real story, but she knows nothing. So, and it's kind of creepy if I think about it. she is mature for her age, for real. That's not what they say, because that's what they say about all girls, to voice extra responsibility on them at a younger age. She actually is, because she had been, the third time around, switched in the hospital at birth, as she got raised by decent, nurturing parents who wanted her to thrive in her own person and what she really wanted to do. And then they get together, get married, and then their life proceeds on, and they grow old together and all of that. But I just thinking, I didn't want to seem anything to be like creepery and like you're getting this 18-year-old girl, 26-year-old, and can groom her. So that was one reason I had just dropped the original plot. But another reason, when it was just way too soap opera-ish. The first time around, Sebastian, he had poly relationships. So he married Harlow, and he had this girlfriend named Daphne, and then it was just too much. Too much. These people didn't do anything of substance either, other than, call lifts and go to parties and get into dramatic entanglements at restaurants. I think the current plot of Thrice is so much better, but I do make mention of it in the current book that I'm writing. And I want a song to kind of outline the plot of the original without all the dramatics. A song about finding each other again, having another chance to be together. Hope everybody has a good day.